Yeah, man.
Ah, Here we go. We are speaking to the one and only guitarist Damon Johnson, the new Damon Johnson, and the Get Ready Battle Lessons available today, in fact. And then by the time you watch this, folks, it will be available. So, where can they pick it up, by the way? Is it, if they want physical, if they want a vinyl or a CD, where can they go?
Hey there, Mitch. Always good to talk to you, buddy.
Yeah. See, I'm so
People need to.
excited. I'm so
No,
excited.
dude, it's great, man. Listen, people just need to go to my website, damonjohnson.com. We are running a tight ship here. Um, Generally, we try to turn that stuff around within 24 hours. So, yeah, man, we try to make it look professional. And my wife is working very hard, shoving CDs in envelopes as we speak.
Well, see, that's the way it should be. Normally when I do an interview, I get all my research done and I throw it up on the screen. I didn't do that in this case because we've talked about Brother Kane, we've talked about Thin Lizzy, we've talked about all these things. So I want to talk to you about this. First of all, is Damon Johnson and the Get Ready a band, or is it just sort of the title you went for with Battle Lessons?
No, Damon Johnson and the Get Ready is a band,
Okay.
Mitch. It's my power trio. I never intended to have a trio. It's not like that was some master plan I had in the back of my mind. But a couple of years ago, we just wound up doing a few shows as just the three of us. I had another friend of mine on second guitar when I put out Memoirs of an Uprising 2 years ago. And I don't know how else to describe it, Mitch, other than to say there was something very freeing about it. I felt like I had total control over the dynamics of the show. Um, Look, man, I nobody likes to go to a bombastic rock and roll show more than me. I've certainly been a part of performing those kinds of shows, but I know that music fans will enjoy these songs and appreciate the quality of these songs if they can hear them, and we're not just bashing them over the head. And instantly, um, I think really the first proper run we did as a trio was we supported Clutch at the end of the year in 2019, and then we went out with UFO in February of 2020, Mitch, right before the pandemic. And man, it was incredible. It was incredible. The reaction from the audience was great. The reaction from the headlining band and their people. It just something happened, and I kind of made the decision then that I wanted to just kind of go forward as a trio.
Well, it's a wise decision. Talk to me just real quick about reinventing yourself. You start off, of course, with Brother Kane. It has success in the '90s. The success comes to it slows down because of all different factors. You head off to Thin Lizzy. You head off to Alice Cooper. You head off to all these other bands. Talk to me about sort of reinventing yourself as Damon Johnson and the Get Ready, because the careers are sort of always moving forward, and you're not one of these guys that lives in the past and says, "Oh, it's Damon Johnson's brother Kane, one original member." You know?
That makes me think of my time with the great John Waite. I think you and I've talked about John. You're a fan as well as I am, but John always was pushing for me to put brother, like you need to call it Brother Kane, Damon. That's what people know you from. It had some success, and I'm not going to deny that that's always been, not anymore, but certainly like the early 2000s, that was something kind of tugging at me. Well, like maybe that's what I should do. I have friends in other bands, Mitch, that had success in the 90s. They still go out and tour. There's one original guy in the band. I'm not saying there's anything wrong with that,
No,
but
listen, when you work hard to get a brand, you should be allowed to use it without somebody saying, "Oh, it's only one guy." No, you should be allowed to be whatever.
right, right, 100%, man. I lost. Yeah, there you are.
Yeah,
Sorry.
you're still here.
I've I've got to learn to, I guess, put my phone on do not disturb because people are calling. Um, yeah, and I'll try to, I guess the compact version of that story is after Brother Kane, I was exhausted. I felt like I'd been carrying the bulk of the load because it was, I had to write the songs, I had to do the interviews, I had to sing every night. I couldn't be out, living like a rock star because I had to go to bed every night and take care of myself. And by the way, my marriage and everybody else's marriage in the band was in the toilet at the end of that band because we'd been on the road for 7 years solid. So um, I just wasn't thinking about fronting a band anymore. I did a couple things at home in Birmingham and for fun, but nothing that I was really like, all right, we're going after it. Here we go. Alice Cooper called. I got that gig. That was fun. It was beyond fun, Mitch. You know, I got to dress up. I got to play songs that are some of the greatest rock songs of all time. I got to play it with a guy that was so totally comfortable in his own skin. And then, you know, I did that for 5 years, man. And then that, you know, Thin Lizzy came after that. And that was a childhood, I won't say dream come true, because I would have never fathomed that that would be possible. So all that time, man, I was still enjoying just being a guitar player and not feeling that pressure of having to make the decisions. The game changer was Black Star Writers. Writing songs with Ricky, who I love, who I know you love as
One of the
well.
greatest singers.
One of the greats. I was not prepared. I wasn't expecting. I never anticipated the collaboration that he and I had. And it was a pure joy. It was so much fun to write with him. I learned a lot from Ricky. His work ethic and I, you know, our work ethics mirror each other. You know, we're not, you know, we don't mess around, man. You know, we got families and we want to work hard and do the best job we can. So we certainly made 3 quality records together. And I think it was while Heavy Fire, the third and last record I did with them, I think that's when the wheels started spinning for me. Like, well, maybe I should get back behind the mic and start telling my truth, you know, writing my songs again. I knew that I could go out and still perform the Brother Kane songs. There's entertainment value in a tip of the hat to Thin Lizzy or Alice Cooper playing one of those songs. And, you know, just several things started working together and pushing me in that direction. But I don't think I would be a solo artist had it not been for Black Star Writers. And on paper, somebody may go, oh, that was a bad experience. So he was like, forget it. I'm just going to go solo. Quite the contrary. It was amazing. It was incredible. It was such a learning experience. And to, you know, to work in the studio with Scott Gorham, my hero, a legend, it just boosted my confidence,
Right.
Mitch. You know, my ability to arrange, my ability to just kind of direct the band. I just felt like those muscles kind of returned, and I
Right.
wanted to exercise that again.
And part of the reality that people have to understand is that Black Star Riders is pretty much a European band, and so for you to go play with them, you got to get on a plane from Tennessee and fly over, and it's not always easy to just always be the guy being flown in for economic reasons, for physical, for whatever reason. So,
Yeah, it certainly wasn't easy. It wasn't easy.
but still great albums, great guys. It doesn't change that.
Oh, the best, man, the best. You know, I keep in touch with all those guys, and you know they've been super supportive of everything I'm doing, and you know they're all pretty knocked out with this Battle Lessons record. They can tell that I've taken a big step forward. This record's very productive, Mitch, for whatever I set out to do 3 years ago. This is I wouldn't have expected I could make a record this good. You know, 3 years after going solo.
Well,
It's really special.
you always make great records. But let me ask you about this because you're in situations where there's a lot of guys on stage. Thin Lizzy, you know, 5 guys, 2 guitars. Alice Cooper, depending on the week, 3 guitars, 2 guitars, depends. What's it like for you to strip it back and really just be the one guy on there in the trio and not have that big sort of sound and not be able to, you know, say, hey, you know what, tonight I'm not feeling well, you play a bit louder, you know? You know, what's it like
Yeah,
to really sort of change the sonics of what you're doing?
that's a great question. I have had another unique set of experiences in that I've done a substantial amount of solo acoustic performances over the last couple of decades, Mitch. And those have been really fulfilling for me. I think I became a better singer specifically from those kinds of shows. I got more confident with presenting a show Because listen, man, whether you're playing to 10 people or 10,000, there has to be, you got to entertain these people. You not only want to keep their attention, you'd like for them to come back the next time you come through town.
You know how you do that? You cut out all the drum solos.
Well,
that's the key right there. It's no drum solos.
You know what? It's interesting you said that, because my drummer Jared, he's not a fan of the drum solo. He's never one time said, "Hey man, what do you think? Let's do a solo between Got No Shame and The Boys Are Back in Town."
Well, a jam is different, but solos, but yeah. No, but I mean, it is different, because now you've got nobody else to sort of back you up, and doing the acoustic thing is certainly one thing, but doing a rock record as a trio, how has that been? I mean, is it exciting?
Yeah, it's been amazing, and you're going to find this very interesting, and it's not going to surprise you, because you and I saw each other when I came through Canada a couple of years ago and did 3 or 4 shows acoustic.
And I was actually wearing that T-shirt yesterday, and I went, "Oh, you should have worn it tomorrow."
Well, Mitch,
I think it's like in the laundry basket right here.
Oh. When Jared and Robbie and I go out and play shows as a trio, more times than not, there's no road crew. There's no sound man. There's no tour manager. There's no merch guy. There's no one. It's the three of us. I've got one of those big American SUVs, this giant GMC that's got a few miles on it. But man, we can fit all of our gear in there. We can couple boxes of shirts and CDs, and we go. That's how we toured with Clutch. That's how we toured with UFO. You advance the dates, make some friends when you get their day of show. You just figure it out, man. And we operate more efficiently than any band you've ever talked to or seen live. And there's something empowering about that, Mitch. There's no question we want to grow this thing. There's no doubt we'd love to get to a place to where we can take a bus. And we do bring a couple of guys. And, maybe we can, get a little more sleep than we're able to get when we're,
loading in, loading out, and driving between shows.
Yeah. There's no question we would love to do that. But I don't know, man. There's something inspired about that approach. I remember when we opened for Clutch in Philadelphia, the promoter, when I went to settle up with him after the show, he was just blown away. I mean, he loved the music, but he was more blown away with our business model. He's like, "Man, you guys are unstoppable." He goes, "You showed up on time. You had all the gear there ready. I saw you out there selling T-shirts by yourself." It's been incredible, man. And I just feel like the fans see that. They recognize that. The fans know that I'm not phoning anything in. I'm not showing up looking for extra credit or special treatment because I have some sort of resume that looks good on a Wikipedia page. We got to earn it.
It does.
We have to.
Listen, I opened up your Wikipedia page just now. It looks fantastic. Look at this.
Yeah, it's pretty good. It's pretty
Sammy
good.
Hagar marching to Mars, Damn Yankees, Bravos. I mean, Faith Hill. No. Jokes aside, though, how do you grow a band like this? Because you grew Brother Kane, but you had radio. You had the publicist. You had the machine behind you. Alice Cooper, you don't have to grow because it's Alice Cooper. Black Star Riders, you grew, but in Europe, not really in North America, which is unfortunate. Great band. How do you get to that next level? Because right now, COVID notwithstanding, it's difficult because COVID sort of all the clubs that you might want to play when it opens may not exist.
Yeah, there's no question, man. It's going to be a challenge. Well, there's a two-part answer to that. One is you're going to have to work very hard. If I was not committed to working hard, we would never be able to grow this thing because there's no platform anymore, Mitch.
And there's no magic wand.
There's no magic wand. There's not even really a subculture for rock music anymore. It is so niche now. It's, you don't get to borrow fans from other bands really anymore. You just got to get in front of people. The second part to that answer is my firecracker team working behind the scenes now, which is my manager and my agent, which, by the way, I did not have when I saw you in Canada that time for those acoustic shows.
That's right.
It's been super productive for me, Mitch. They see the work, they see the trio, they see the specialness of it, they hear the entertainment value of what we're doing. Man, those guys are busting it, Mitch, pitching us for every support slot under the sun. Again, man, think about it. That's the great thing about a trio. You know, we may get a call from Sammy Hagar's management or his agent, and they say, "Well, yeah, we got these 10 shows, but there's no you." They always say that there's not much money in the budget for the support act. Our response is going to be, "We don't care. We'll be there."
We just need the catering tickets. That's all.
Well, listen, man, I know if there are, 2,000, 3,000, whatever, Sammy Hagar fans in an audience, and I step on that stage with my rhythm section and we play 40 minutes of music, they're going to leave the show that night, Damon Johnson and the Get Ready fans, period. No, unquestioned. They're just going to.
I agree. And they're going to sell a bunch of T-shirts, and you're going to sell a bunch of CDs.
And then we drive to the next town and we do it again. And then guess what? Some of those people are going to get on board and they're going to become fans for life. And they're going to buy the next album and the one after that. And they're going to come see us the next time we come through town by ourselves or whatever. It's an old school approach, man. But look, it's the only thing that any of us can do. Any of us can do. I talked to Rachel Bolan, my buddy from Skid Row, and he's like, man, we were so lucky that we came out when we did, and there was MTV, and there was all this infrastructure, that just doesn't exist anymore. Because he's heard my record, and he's blown away. He's like, man, this is the best thing you've ever done. And he goes, I know it's going to be tough. You're going to have to.
I'll tell you what, though. I'm going to say the contrary to Rachel. I'm going to say there's too much infrastructure right now. Back then, you turned on MTV because that's all there was, Now there's MTV and Spotify and YouTube and this and the internet and podcasts. And it's hard to find a fan because they're divided by 600 things out there. There's probably too much infrastructure.
Well, yeah, and I think the word that's even more to your point is they're distracted. They're just distracted by so much stuff. And, that's why today was a big day, Mitch. My little team, again, we channeled everything into, okay, February 19th, we're going to have all this press in the can. We set it up at digital. Damon's got I got the physical CDs.
And then the journalist writes down the wrong time. Ugh.
I got the box of physical CDs right here, Mitch. There it is. It looks so good.
I need one of those. I'm going to get one of those.
And the vinyl should be showing up pretty soon too. But, man, we just timed everything to where we're ready. And, man, the only thing we need is an audience to play for. And so the three of us we're signed up, waiting in line to get the vaccine, and we're ready. We want to get it done, and we want to get back to work.
You want to get out there. Well, you can always go tour Florida. They're wide open. But let me ask you about rebuilding. At some point, does it get frustrating, to be at this career and be three guys out on the road and not say, hey, why am I not, a theater act with 3,000 fans? At some point, you just sort of say, listen, I gave it my best shot, and I'm done. Just forget it. Why not just go, gonna go work at the Ralph's on Sunset?
Well,
is there a Ralph on Sunset, by the way? I have no idea.
There is a Ralph's on Sunset. I'm a fan of Ralph's.
Me too.
And I'm a fan of working in a grocery store. That's what I did all through high school and junior college. But I think I felt more of what you described, actually, when I was in Black Star Riders. I did give it 100%. They had total control of my calendar and my time and my focus and my talent and my songwriting and everything. On paper, man, it almost looked unstoppable. You got Scott Gorham in the band. We're going to play these Thin Lizzy songs.
And the songs are great.
Yeah, man, the UK press was on our side. And we just could not move the needle beyond a certain point.
Yeah.
And I did feel exactly what you just said. I was like, man, what's it going to take? This is not happening. So I had to change my philosophy, Mitch. I had to change my philosophy. You can't look at it like, oh, I got to put a band together and we got to build it to where we can sell 5,000 tickets a night and everybody's making $500,000 a year. That's just not going to happen. It's not going to happen anymore. That ship has sailed. Those times are over. It's not going to be that. So you got to readjust and go, okay, do I still want to continue as an artist if these are the watermarks or the measurements that we can achieve? And the answer for me was yes. I've got the support of an amazing family. They want me to keep following my bliss. Listen, if there's ever been a time for any of us to think about doing something else, Mitch, it was 2020. Uh,
Yeah, it was.
I'm not gonna lie. I thought about it. I talked it over with my wife. My inner circle of friends. Like, well, maybe this is a sign. Maybe the universe is telling me, listen, Damon, you've had a great run. That Wikipedia page is going to be there forever.
Yeah.
But no, man, I love to write songs too much. I love to record. I love to play music with a great band like the Get Ready, and work with producers like Nick. And so I'm going to carry on, Mitch.
Was the sign a Ralph's application form on the fridge door? Was that the sign?
Well, I'll tell you this, man. You'll love this. The sign was my son Gabriel.
Right.
He's 16. Well, his best friend works at the grocery store here is called Publix. He works at Publix, and man, he's knocking out $300 or $400 a week. And I was talking to Gabriel, like, well, hey, man, maybe I need to just go back to the grocery store and let's see.
Stock the meat shelf.
Totally, man. Because look, I have experience there. Like I said, I mean, sooner or later, the guy that manages the store is going to take note, and he's going to go, "Wow, this Damon Johnson guy's killing it. Look at what that display of pinto beans looks like." I don't know, man.
Jokes aside, though, talk to me real quick about the musicality. Because when you listen to Brother Kane and you listen to the other stuff you've put out, they're all similar but different. I mean, Brother Kane and this is not exactly the same, obviously, but it's it's bass, guitar, it's drum, it's powerful vocal, it's a great songwriting message. So there is some similarities. Talk to me about not being one of these artists that every time you sort of reinvent yourself, it's like, oh, now I'm doing EMD or EDM is what I'm trying to say. You stay true to the music. You don't really start throwing out loops and this and that, and you're not reinventing yourself musically.
No, that's a great point, Mitch. I just love that music too much. It's too much ingrained in my DNA. It's the stuff that inspires me. I've said it in a lot of the interviews I've done lately that this album celebrates my influences more than any I've ever made. Particularly the bands that I was so obsessed with when I was 19 and 20. I just, that's what speaks to me. It's kind of like expecting, Joe Bonamassa not to play blues music. That's just, that's that's the stuff that changed his life and that set him on his path. Rock and hard rock is what did it for me. Now I feel like I'm at a place where I'm a lot more certainly experienced, but more so, I just feel kind of fearless, Mitch. Songwriting is a joy for me now. It used to be hard work. It used to be tough. I used to kind of dread it. Not anymore. Most of these songs, I've talked to you last time about my friend Jim Troglin. I'm Brian Adams and he's Jim Valance. You know what I mean? And so...
I know that reference. That's a good Canadian reference. It's a good one.
Yeah, man.
But speaking about that, just real quick, though, because you've got Desmond Child that lives not too far from you down there. Have you ever thought of just being that songwriter guy that sits at home and sends it out and have Faith Hill or John Waite just record your stuff and you just sort of sit back and go, let the money come on in?
I thought about it a little bit, right after we first moved here in 2013. I talked to some friends, and there's no question that I could have kind of, you sort of have to point your car in a different direction. All of a sudden it's more about, putting in, at least 3 or 4 days a week. You're downtown in Nashville, you're in these writing rooms, and it's 2 other writers or 3 other writers. And you just, man, look, no disrespect to any of those guys. I mean, some of those guys are killing it. It just never appealed to me, Mitch.
No? So you don't write a song for battle lessons and go, if Aerosmith sang this would sound great with Steven's voice.
Well, that's different, though. That's different. I could write songs for Aerosmith all day, easy. But I'm not interested in, them saying, well, here's the flavor of the month, young country singer. And this is what all the other songs at country radio sound like. We need 10 songs like that.
Right. You can't be a stock writer. You gotta, okay.
It's just, it doesn't appeal to me. Mitch, I still have these discussions with both of my parents. And they still say, well, Damon, you're in Nashville and you're so affable and you can make friends with anybody from Blake Shelton to Dolly Parton to, Garth Brooks. You could write songs with all those people. I'm like, yeah, but listen, I just made the most badass rock record of my life, Mitch. It's so good. And if I did entertain any more of those thoughts of just being kind of a staff writer or pitching songs here in town, that ship has sailed now for sure because of Battle Lessons. Battle Lessons is like, okay, man, there's no turning back. This is it. My kids know. We talk about it at the dinner table. My wife, Linda, this is the path Damon is on from here on out. Yes, I'm still a part of Thin Lizzy. There's a little chatter going on, there may be some festival dates towards the end of this year even. A lot of things have to land on that. But Scott Gorham knows if he wants to go play, I'd love to come and play with him, and he can count on me. And it's great because, as you know, it's only going to be a handful of shows. Nobody's going to be on the road for 10 weeks at a time anymore.
And it'll be the big festivals. And we'll start wrapping up on this. But you did sort of get away from the hard rock stuff with Whiskey Falls, more of a country thing. Is that sort of, I got it out of my system and it's done, or is that a style you still want to explore down the road?
Yeah, I'm not into exploring that style. That was a one-off. That was a really special group. I mean, they had a lot of great songs already when they reached out to me to see if I'd be interested. I was impressed, and a lot of things on paper, Mitch, in a way, kind of like Black Star Writers. It looked like a no-brainer. Like, wow, there's no way that this cannot succeed.
Right, especially in the States. I mean, a country record in the States, especially in 2007 when it was exploding.
Yeah. We had everything we needed, man. And, again, circumstances and just a couple breaks that we needed just didn't fall our way. And, we probably should have all lived here in Nashville. That was another issue. We had 2 guys out in California and 2 back here.
You can't have country rockers out in California. What are they doing? What are they doing? What a mistake.
Exactly. So, yeah, man, I'm not making any country records. I love to play, I love to sit in and jam with my friends that do that. And as a matter of fact, I played on a friend's demo just recently. It's a country song. He wanted a guitar part. And I said, yeah, man, send it to me. I'll work it out. But, I'm looking to promote this record certainly for the next month. And there's going to come a shift where it's like, all right, this is off my desk. Let's write some more songs. And, I have every intention to look, if we can't get back to work by the summer, come on, Mitch, I'll have a new record by the fall. It might be out before the end of the year.
Good.
Cause it's like, what else you going to do, man? If you're a songwriter, you write songs.
Right.
If you're really an artist, you create.
And you tour. So
that's right, man. So if I can't tour, then I'm going to keep creating. I'm going to keep writing songs.
Well, right now you can probably play shows in Texas, South Dakota, and Florida. So you've got you've got routing. Oh, my Lord! Sturgis, here I come.
Hey, man, there's some good stuff. Good conversations starting to happen. There's some of these smaller promoters are starting to set up some socially distanced things and some outdoor shows. And again, the Get Ready's the perfect band for that because we can. Yeah. We can move in easy. We don't take up a lot of space.
You can be socially distanced on the stage, which is perfect.
That's right, man.
But I'll give you this hope. Sorry to cut you. I'll give you this hope. I was reading the Wall Street Journal today, and they said that COVID is down by 77% in the last 6 weeks. And they said that probably by April, the United States will have achieved herd immunity. So now I'll send you that link later. Now that to me, April seems a little short, but that certainly gives me hope for June or July or August. Listen, if they're saying April, I'm betting September and I'm good to go.
Please send me that link. I'm surprised that I haven't seen that because that's obviously the kind of stuff we're looking for on on a daily basis.
Wall Street Journal from today. I'll send you that link as soon as we're done. You read that and you go, oh, because first of all, it's the Wall Street Journal. It's not some hokey pokey Facebook link. And you go, okay, I'm listening. And you're just like, oh, maybe August. Because down the street here in Malone, New York, which, about 40 minutes from me, they announced Lou Gramm in August. And I was like, oh, I've got to go to that. Please. So I read this article and I went, oh, maybe this is good.
Maybe it's going to happen.
Maybe it's going to happen. Great. But what has happened is Damon Johnson, the Get Ready Battle Lessons. It is out. Buy it now. And just always a good time. These records, they never get old. The last one was great. And should have worn the shirt today, not yesterday. But as we say in Montreal, merci beaucoup. And I will send you that link because I'm telling you, it will pull a smile on your face. It'll be like, there is hope. And that's all we're asking for. That's
what we're asking for, Mitch, is some hope. Listen, brother, thank you always for having me on. You are as experienced and talented at what you do as I am at what I do. So thank you so much, brother. And obviously, to get to come to Canada and do a run is an absolute goal. And
those were fun. Fantastic. Those 3 shows, especially that one out by your friend Rick there in Cornwall. That was a great night.
Yeah, man, Cornwall. That's a great place to rip it up. We had a great time that night.
And by the way, those bars opened up yesterday. They're officially open. Yep, they're open as of yesterday, 11 to 11 each day. So, great, man. Baby steps.
Baby steps. Baby steps.
Thank you, sir. Always a pleasure.
Right on, brother.
Cheers.
Okay, Mitch, thank you so much. See you.